constantly prove myself. There probably always will be some doubt, but not just doubt. My name to be attached to like a hero or a box office or a success of a film. Please write a role with that song, even if it's 3 scenes. I said, because remember the staircase analogy? I mean, that's an excuse, because if that was the fact, then we would not have a Katrina Kaif today, right? Or a Jacqueline Fernandez today, who are very successful, bit of a threat to people around you. Sometimes the rejection comes from other people around who don't want you to grow, right? And they see that there were so many rejections and people didn't entertain me, so I ended up doing things that people didn't want to do, like songs, right? And the songs exploded, and that's what worked for me. That was traumatizing a little bit, but at the same time it was also like a slap in the face to wake you up and realize that, boss, like, life is going to be really tough, and people create stories and they fabricate things about me which are not even true, and I've been facing that for so long.
Hi, this is Bhavna and you're watching India Today. Today I'm joined by an artist who refuses to be limited into one box. She's an artist, all-rounder. She sings, she dances, she acts, she does everything, you name it, and she'll do it. I think Nora Fatehi right here, only on India Today. How are you?
I'm great. How are you?
I'm great. You know, I genuinely believe that you refuse to be limited or to box. I mean, if someone tries to box you, I don't think that can happen. That also means that it comes with a lot of challenges, not just externally but also internally, because you have to sort of be on your toes all the time because you're trying so many different things. Where do you draw the energy, the courage, the inspiration to be able to dabble between all different hats that you're wearing at this point?
It can get really hectic, but I think my drive and the fire that I have is from the passion for being this multi-diverse and multifaceted artist, and I've always envisioned myself like this, and I always believe that this is who I am, and I always feel that if I'm going to embark on this journey, I have to give it my all, like literally my all, and dedicate my life to it.
And you're doing this wonderfully.
Thank you.
But I'm sure it's not been easy, Nora. I mean, at every step, there has been an inherent need to sort of prove yourself, because you're also a part of an industry which is not, I mean, you have to make it, you eventually had to make it your own, right? It's not easy. People who have been in this industry, who are from India, find it difficult. So coming from a different place altogether and finding that place is difficult. Has it become easier now, though, or the struggle still remains, continues?
I think I will always have to constantly prove myself. There will probably always will be some doubt, but not just doubt, but there's always competition. There's pretty cutthroat. There's always going to be someone trying to take something away from you or remove you out of the way. So you have to constantly fight that and be quite strategic in the planning, in terms of if something doesn't work out, then you need to have a backup plan, not have all your eggs in one basket, and can create ways of making yourself relevant. I think if you're relevant, people love you, if there's support of the audience, then it always helps.
Absolutely.
It always helps. So it gets your foot through the door. Even if there are people who are trying to move you out of the way, the love and the support of the audience will always prevail.
Yeah. And you have an immense army, actually. I mean, I always see and I watch a lot of these videos where they are reacting to some of the work that you have done, and oh my God.
I'm so grateful. I'm so blessed for that. I think what's beautiful is that they see my intention, they see my sincerity in my work, and the love I have for the work that I do. They also understand the evolution I brought into the industry through how I present my dance numbers, how I've presented myself, how I've used social media, how I've become this public figure who's diverse and is different. And I've always wanted to be that. I wanted to be unique. I wanted to be multifaceted, like you said. I wanted to be able to do more than one thing and represent in that way. And I never wanted to be like only one dimensional.
You know, that's why I feel that there could not have been a better introduction to you than that, you refuse to get boxed? Because I know this industry does that a lot.
Oh, for sure. Yes, definitely. It's very easy to box someone who's good at something,
Yeah.
right? And
Yeah.
rightly so. If you're good at something, then people will always want to come to you for that one
Absolutely.
thing.
Absolutely.
And I think I've created this massive explosion with dance numbers and how they are shot and how they are presented. And gone are the days where dance numbers are just, eye candy, or now they're performance oriented. Now they have their own identity from
Absolutely.
away from the project. What be it the choreography or the hook steps or the different styles we bring to the table, or the aesthetic of it all.
Yeah.
I really pushed hard to change that, and I think with that comes the obsession of wanting me to do more and more of those
Yes.
things, which is great. I love it. I'm never going to stop it. Because of that, I have this army, this
Yeah.
whole global dance community that's
Absolutely.
behind me. And I've also gained a lot of young little, fans who love me and admire me, and they give me the fire and the drive to keep
Yeah.
going in this journey.
And every time we look at any of your work, any of the work that you do, there's always something to take away from. One, the sincerity and the hard work is evident in all
Thank
of the work
you.
that you do. Be it a dance number or just the song that you released recently, which also made me, at one point when it was even announced that you are sort of signing a label, Warner Music, I was just like, I don't know, what inspired you perhaps, because it's not an easy take. Singing first is very difficult. Just to be pegged on an international level, again, that's another road to cross. While also balancing a career here when it comes to acting, the third crossroad. So I just wanted to understand, when did you perhaps decide that, okay, I want to also try this? Was it a spontaneous decision, or was it like a well thought?
No, it wasn't. It was very well thought. It was well thought and well planned out. So I go back to 2014, 2013. When I was sitting in my room alone in Yari Road, I was planning out, sketching out what this journey is going to look like and who I'm going to become and what mark I'm going to leave in this world as Nora Fatehi. So I always thought, okay, I don't want to be attached to only one project, and I also don't want my success and my relevancy and my name to be attached to like a hero or a box office or a success of a film. Those things are great, but I didn't want it to be the sole reason of why my name existed in the industry. So I always thought, okay, let's take Nora Fatehi as a brand and let's build around this brand. Who is Nora Fatehi? What does she stand for? What is she? How is she relatable? And as I was thinking and planning, I'm like, okay, every time I look at my career, I'm going to look at it as a staircase, steps. And each step is a building block to the next step. A new door will open to a different shade of my career. So when I exploded after Dilbar in 2018, I said, this is the time where I got to invest my money, whatever money I made at that time, into my singing career, my international singing career. So that's when I started producing my music videos, singing, and putting them on my YouTube channel and marketing them myself. I did that with Arabic Dilbar immediately after that. It was the first time I produced, financed, and sang a song. And I did it with my Moroccan team, and we released it, and that was a success. And immediately that opened up a new market for me. With that, I ended up, again, whatever money I earned, I invested it on more of my music, my international music. So I followed it up with Pepeta, which was an Afro song with Rayvani. I produced it, shot it in Thailand, put it on my YouTube channel, and it did really good. So I'm like, okay, so I'm simultaneously, while I'm here working on my acting and my presence in Bollywood, I'm doing that also. People were like, what are you doing? Why are you wasting your money? Why are you wasting your time? And I'm like, I see the vision. It's going to happen. And I did the same thing with Dirty Little Secret. I produced it. I had directed it also, sang it with Zach Knight, put it on my YouTube channel. It's got like 70 million views right now. So
Wow.
yeah, and
that's insane, by the way.
and so Pepeta's got like 80 million views, and that's on my independent YouTube channel. So I I gained respect and I opened a new door to my career. So I'm no longer the girl that just performs in a music video or a song on other people's songs.
Yeah.
I'm now a girl who has her own songs, who owns their IP, the rights, the content. And now when I go on stage and I perform, I no longer perform like the other actors where I'm just performing the film songs and I leave. I am now a multifaceted performer, almost like what a pop star would be, you know? I have the mic, I can interact with the audience, I can sing my international tracks, I can put on a real show. And that's what I always wanted to do. And then slowly we built a 45-minute show. So now people call me and they know what I bring to the table. When you buy a ticket, you know that Nora is going to give us a real show.
Yeah.
Anyway, so with that, I took something great, which was Dilbar and Naan, Baby Marwaki Managi and Manohari. I took that and I converted it to something bigger, which is the same thing which my mind told me to do with these special features in movies. They're great. I love doing 5-minute moments in a movie and leaving and then being noticed. It's great. But I'm like, now we have to take it a step up. And that's when, for example, this is something I've just recently told someone. When Dilbar exploded, they came to me with Saki. And Saki, they were like, it's a big song. Only you can do it. We need someone who can really perform. And I'm like, yes, okay, I'll never say no to work. That's my number one rule. Never say no to an opportunity, no matter what people say, how small it is. I said, sir, just please write a role with that song, even if it's 3 scenes. I said, because remember the staircase analogy? Dilbar is one step. Now uske upar na has to be a bigger step. I said, if you give me one role, that means I went one step up.
Absolutely.
So they wrote that role for me and I got a chance to act a bit, you know, in front of the camera with someone like John. Right? So that was a big deal for me. It was a nice evolution. And that's how I kept going. After that, I was like, okay, 3 scenes. The next thing has to be a supporting role. Street dancer came. Bhuj came, you know, and I got to show my action. And I got to perform with great people like Varun, Shraddha, and Ajay. And for someone who's come from nothing, these are great things, great improvements in my career and great part of my journey. It's a good story to tell. And now I said to myself, okay, so we've done the supporting roles, we've done the important roles, we got to do the lead roles. So I've worked really hard to convert that into lead roles, which took a long time, but here we are today with Crack and Madgaon Express and Be Happy with Abhishek Bachchan sir and Matka with Varun Tej. It's a new era of my career and I worked really, really hard to create that evolution. But to answer your question, it was very thought out, yes.
And I can see that while you're talking. I mean, while you were talking, and I could sense that you're dabbling between all of these roles and successfully so. But of course, there are still hiccups that come every now and then. I'm sure while you might be doing great on the music front, you might be facing a few of the rejections or hiccups when it comes to acting. How do you manage to sort of translate or transform that rejection into encouragement? Because again, I know that it can really take a toll, especially when you know that, okay, this is the next step, this is what I want to do. But if things don't fall in place, which happens more than often,
of
right?
Course,
like
it's a part of the journey. In anything you do, like in our industry and in other industries, you will face rejections. It's just how do you play with that rejection? So in my initial days, I was constantly rejected. So it's nothing new, but I said to myself, well...
But I mean, just to ask, rejection on what basis? Was it like,
oh,
you're a foreigner, that's why we can't...
I mean, that's an excuse, because if that was the fact, then we would not have a Katrina Kaif today, right? Or a Jacqueline Fernandez today, who are very successful people in the industry. So that can be used as an excuse. But I think rejection in so many ways, oh, you're not good enough, or we have better options, or you don't fit, or maybe nothing at all. They don't even say anything. They just reject you. That's also there. You know, sometimes when you're in coming up and you are a bit of a threat to people around you, sometimes the rejection comes from other people around who don't want you to grow, right? And they see that you can become something huge and it intimidates them and it scares them. So that's also a form of rejection that one faces. But what I learned is I take that and I go, okay, I'll show you. So I use it as fire and I use it as drive, because when you're doing this for so long, like how I've been doing it for so long, sometimes the drive and the fire might go away.
Right.
So you need something to ignite it again.
Yeah.
And I use rejection to ignite it. It's like my lighter, you know? So I love it. It's really helped me.
But because I would like to believe now you're in a position and at a stage where rejections might be very, like, I don't think there might be too many now, because you've established yourself within the industry as well, in the Hindi film industry or just the Indian film industry. Or maybe the way it comes to you now has changed. Perhaps earlier it would be more blatant, and now it must be more like cushioned.
Yeah.
Is there anything that still bothers you, or you wish that, okay, maybe I've achieved so much, why can't they like look through, or why am I still not getting credit for this, for the work that I've done, perhaps?
I mean, look, of course that's always going to happen, and I'm sure a lot of people are in my situation. You can't have it all, right? And I think with me, what I do realize that this industry is a great industry. It's given me so much. And there have been so many people who have helped me throughout also and given me opportunities. Otherwise, I would have never been here today, right? But at the same time, there are also narrow-minded people, and the scope of their vision is so small and so thin and narrow. It's so hard to make them see otherwise.
Yeah.
So then for those people, I mean, I'm not going to waste my time with them. I just move on to other people. And I'm also an innovator. So if something is not happening, I don't stay there. I move to other places and I start creating my own opportunities. For me to even reach the World Cup, FIFA in Qatar, and to sing the anthem and to perform at the closing ceremony, essentially representing the country at a global level, I only reached there because I created those opportunities for myself. I invested in myself. When people were saying no to me and were not giving me chances and didn't entertain me, I turned around and I just made my own lanes. So that's what I continue to do. Even with the industry here, there were so many rejections and people didn't entertain me. So I ended up doing things that people didn't want to do, like songs, right? And the songs exploded, and that's what worked for me. Now everybody, so I don't follow the grain and I don't follow the formulas, and I do my own thing, and I do it with a lot of conviction and confidence, and also with good intentions. That is how these things have worked for me. So the people who didn't want me and didn't believe in me and who really didn't entertain me, eventually they come around.
Yeah, and I'm sure you have made them come around.
Yeah,
because
for
of
sure
the
they
work
do.
And the
Yeah.
skill that you have, because eventually
Definitely.
it is what matters, right? And like you said, good intention is eventually rewarded. It might take a little while, but it is always rewarded.
Yeah, good intention and don't hurt anybody. You know, sometimes our industry, like in the race of success and fame and wanting clout and wanting it all, some people lose their values and their morals, and they hurt people in the race. So sometimes you have to remember not to do that.
I can sense that you've been hurt a couple of times yourself, but so glad that you still managed to do
For sure.
everything that you have. It takes a lot, like, to be a steel-hearted in ways, like to be able to do that. Has the industry changed you, Nora, in ways? Because I think it does.
I think life changes you in ways, and the industry is just one part of my life. I've been chasing my career and my dreams for so long, and I think my upbringing changed me, and I think also where I come from has made me so thick-skinned and able to kind of combat the battles that come your way. I look at my whole career as a story, and one day this might be a documentary, who knows, right? And I want people to be motivated and inspired by this story and who Nora Fatehi is and what she brought to the table and who she represented. But the industry allows you to be a little more aware of what life really is. Yeah, for sure.
When was just to ask, when was that first time? Because you enter the industry, you're very well aware that, okay, it's not going to be an easy ride. I mean, it's not like we don't know that this is going to be easy or difficult. But it's like, when you first taste that first criticism or that first rejection or that first hit, that is different. That really changes the way you look at everything thereon, right?
Yes, for sure.
What was that for you?
Those were during my auditions, and that was traumatizing a little bit, but at the same time it was also like a slap in the face to wake you up and realize that, boss, like life is going to be really tough. Nobody's here to cushion you and like, you know, be sensitive to your feelings. Nobody cares. And that's just what it is, right? And if you're going to want to become something big and iconic and not just, you know, take life in the easy way, because to want to plan to be something iconic, you have to be ready that you're going to go through so much. It is a jungle and it's not going to come easy. So I think those moments prepare you to, you know, toughen up.
Yeah.
And I think wear a helmet, you know what I mean? But just, it really helped. It really helped me realize that, boss,
It's not
it's going to be, and you got to be ready for this one. Yeah.
So happy that you've braced all of that. And because, you know, when I look at you, when I see everything that you're dabbling with, I just feel it's such an inspiration to so many other people who think that, oh, I can only do this, but why not? You can try so many different things.
But technically, that is what our industry should be like, because actors, I don't know about all of them in our industry, but most of us are artists, right? So we're very multifaceted. We are able, if we're allowed and we're given the liberty and the freedom, we are able to do so many things in the umbrella of art. Not just acting, but singing, acting, dancing, performing, painting, poetry, everything, making music. And Hollywood has allowed their actors to embrace that, you know, be it Lady Gaga, Jennifer Lopez, so many examples of such great icons who are able to do it all.
Harry Styles, I mean,
Exactly, there you go. And it's been great for them. I think our industry should be more open to that and more, they should advocate for that a little bit more. And I'm trying to do that now with my presence here.
Small steps that you all are taking, and many other actors now in the industry are taking, I think that will just open
100%.
up door for many more such opportunities where we will have actors who are not just limiting themselves to one
for
role.
sure.
That
And I think it's happening right now. A few actors are doing that. That stigma is going away. I don't know who created that stigma. It's very stupid. But I think now people are more open to embrace it.
Yeah. But lastly, I also want to know, I mean, you know, there's so much love that is pouring in, obviously, for all the work that you do, especially now with
Mudgaon
the songs.
Express, yeah.
No, Mudgaon, of course, I mean, you
Yeah.
know, but also the song, because it's very difficult for for an artist to be able to balance all of that, right? But because you are someone who is sort of like always in the public eye, there's always reactions coming from all corners, good and bad, both. And I'm sure there must be people who would be like, oh, but you're still establishing yourself as an actor at this point, because there's still so much more that you can do, right? And while doing that, you're also dabbling with music, which is equally difficult. It's like two different professions coming together. The naysayers must be a lot as well, who must be like, you know, nitpicking on everything that you're doing. How do you brave through all of those comments? Because on social media, sometimes it's difficult because you're constantly on it.
Right.
You can't ignore it. You can be thick-skinned.
Which I am.
But, but to what extent? Like sometimes the comments can be harsh.
They can. I see, look, I'm very thick-skinned. Those comments are there. I don't know who those people are. So why would I let people dictate my journey?
Absolutely.
I didn't allow people to dictate my journey in the beginning. Why would I allow them to do it now, right? So that doesn't faze me at all. I do whatever I want to do, and I follow my instinct and my intuition, and that has proven me right this whole time. I'm also this international name. I'm a brand. I'm not going to let people who are nobodies tell me what to do. That's the most stupidest thing I've ever heard in my life. But I also can distinguish between people who have constructive criticism and haters. I can so see the difference, and bullies and envious people. So you cannot, I mean, you have to block that noise out. You have to.
With it in the industry as well.
Forever. Yeah, I mean, like, it's okay. I deal with so much. I mean, people talk about me all the time, and people create stories and they fabricate things about me which are not even true. And I've been facing that for so long. Not about comments. Look, you can make a fake account and comment.
Yeah.
That doesn't matter to me. What matters, but what I notice is publications, credible media people, industry people, critics. These are people who, when they talk bad about me or they spread rumors and lies, that for me, it doesn't bother me. But I'm always like, why? Why would you do that? And where has this come from? That for a moment I stop and I notice that, but then I keep it moving. But it just comes with the whole package, I guess. If I'm trying to take over the world, obviously I'm going to have all this come with it, right?
Okay. I mean, at the end of the day, when you're at the top, it is what it is. I mean, you're absolutely right.
Yeah.
Lastly, Madgaon Express, let me just convey that it's doing so well. Your acting is being appreciated, which I think was a long time coming. What is that one thing which is next on your bucket list? I sense a documentary is definitely in the making.
I really hope so. Yeah, I hope in the next 5 years we can work on a documentary. I think my life needs to be broken down into a documentary for sure.
Different chapters for
different chapters for sure.
But what next on the
I mean, we've got Be Happy with Abhishek Bachchan sir, which is releasing soon, and I'm really excited about that. It's a very sweet film. Also, I play a really interesting role there. I'm preparing for Matka right now, which is a period film with Varun Tej. I play a very dynamic role in that film. And, you know, I'm preparing with my international singles, with Warner. Great features with big artists abroad. And I can't say, but your favorites for sure.
There are too many.
Yeah, so you know, representing India on a global scale,
lovely. Yeah.
It's gonna be huge. Things are really happening for me, and in a more unique way than others for sure, which makes my story different. And you know, manifesting, you know, a Sanjay Leela Bhansali film one day. Let's hope so. I'm putting it out in the universe.
And the universe is going to reward you with exactly what you're asking for.
One day.
Thank you so much.
Thank you
Nora.
for the love.
It was fun chatting with you. I think that I am going more enriched and more motivated to sort of just, you know, just go for it.
Go for it step by step. That's it.
Lovely.
Thank you
So much.